Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. And that's the first time I've gotten to say this for an episode of Punch, Kick, Choke, Chat, because this isn't really just an episode of Punch, Kick, Choke, Chat. It's this year's Capital Conquest. Welcome wherever you're watching from. We're so honored to have you here. My name is Sean Benson, and I'm one of the hosts of a YouTube show and a podcast called Punch, Kick, Choke, Chat. Very briefly, my sensei, Randy Dofan, who's on the phone, or on The View, he hit me, Sensei Suino, and another gentleman, Robert Schlemsky, up and said, I have this idea. And very quickly, we created a YouTube show around the idea of connecting with masters, past and present. And by past, I mean still alive, but who are older, and we can really do a living history of the martial arts. And generally it's been in Canada. And that's why today's such a huge day for us, is that we get to expand this to something global. I know Hanshi Therien will probably talk about this a bit more, but we have 33 speakers from 15 countries confirmed. We have the Ivory Coast of Africa, Austria, Australia, Greece, Italy, France, England, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland, Spain, Kazan, Russia, Germany, Belgium, Mauritius Island, India, Nepal, Pakistan, Iran, Romania, Congo, Zambia. And we're all going to be logging in today to celebrate the martial arts through the Capital Conquest that Hanshi Therien's created. So I'm going to speak very briefly about Sensei Suino, one of our co-hosts, because each week on Punch, Kick, Choke, Chat, we introduce one another as a way for you to know who we are, and then we get into our guests from there. Sensei Suino is one of the foremost sword experts in the world. He's an 8th Dan in Iaido. He's a 6th Dan in Judo, a 6th Dan in Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, and truly one of my favorite people in the world. If you know anything about Iaido, you've heard this man's name. And if you don't, he's the one to contact, among others, who can help steer you into a sword cutting type direction. Sensei Suino, how are you today?
Sean, man, it's great to see you and to see everybody else on this call. This is a really exciting day. We get to meet a ton of new people, and I can't wait to see how this goes and also how the future goes now that we've made connections with so many amazing people all over the planet. Thank you for that introduction. Someday, if I live long enough, I will live up to the introductions that you give me each and every week. But it's now up to me to, and I know we're supposed to go quickly, so I won't take a long time with this, but I get to introduce Sensei Randy Dofan, who is another one of the founders of this call. And for those who don't know, Sensei Dofan is a 7th Dan in Legacy Shorin and in Matsumura Hakutsuru. He's a 3rd Dan in Asian Ryu Iaido, 1st Dan in the Canadian Kendo Association Iaido division. He runs Legacy Martial Arts and Fitness in Kitchener, Ontario. In one sentence, Randy hits really, really hard, but his heart is a lot bigger than his fist. Randy, how are you?
I'm great, Sensei. Thanks for that intro. That's great.
Sure.
I think I always get to introduce Hanshi Legacy and whoever the guest is. And today, the guest is actually the host. It's Hanshi Therien, but I'm going to just circle back quick. Sensei Benson, Sean Benson never gets an introduction because he always kicks it all off. And everybody should know he's a long-standing member of Legacy Shorin. He's a 5th degree black belt, also an Iaido practitioner, also a BJJ practitioner. And if you IMDb most of our names, you'll get the most information about Sean Benson because he's a very successful motion picture actor, which is why we picked him because he's a great martial artist and he's just great on screen. I think we'll all agree. So go IMDb Sean Benson and you'll learn a lot about him. But I get to introduce my sensei, Sean Sensei, Hanshi Gary Legacy. He's 10th Dan. He was awarded that by his teacher, Anthony Sandoval. He founded our school, which is Legacy Shorin Karate Jutsu. He's a member of the Canadian Black Belt Hall of Fame. He's an author. His former senseis are Harold Warden, Benny Allen, Richard Kim, and as I mentioned, not former sensei, current sensei is Anthony Sandoval. I should also mention that he is a black belt in Iaido as well, and he was awarded that rank by Sensei Nicholas Suino, who's on this call. I'm going to now introduce Hanshi John Therien, who all of you know, obviously, and nothing that I'm going to say will surprise you. He's a 9th degree black belt. He is also a member of the Canadian Black Belt Hall of Fame. He founded Therien Jiu-Jitsu over 50 years ago. He's the manager of the 26-time world middleweight champion, Jean-Yves Theriot, who we all know and love worldwide. He's the president of World Kobudo, which he founded with Alan Sai. He's the creator of Capital Conquest, which is why we're all on this call today. And I just want to share my first memory of Capital Conquest, which was last year when I showed up there and I walked out on this floor and I could not believe the thousands of people on the floor and the instructors that were there. As I was moving across the floor, Hanshi Berkowski was there, Hanshi Sai was there, Bill Superfoot Wallace was there. I saw Grandmaster Corley sitting off into a corner. It just was crazy. And the one thing about that was they were all accessible. You could just walk up to them and talk to them, which was amazing. So thank you to all of you who do that. Make yourself accessible at Capital Conquest. The other thing I want to share about Hanshi Therien is Hanshi Legacy and I were recently in Ottawa. Actually, I have a picture of myself sitting where Terry Lynn is. And while we were in Ottawa, there's no doubt about it. We went to a few of his clubs. Hanshi Therien is the Hanshi. He gets nothing but respect every room that he walks into, and he deserves that. So thanks so much, Hanshi Therien. And please, let's get started. Please take the show away.
Okay, well, thank you for the accolades. And you're going to find out that we've got a great group of people over here speaking today. And the first one up, we're going to get right away to the action. And just so that people understand, all speakers have maximum 3 minutes to speak. All right, so we're going to hear some great things. These are people that have been at Capital Conquest. Hanshi Cesar Berkowski, 10 Dan in Karate Do, 9 Dan in Kobudo, the leader and founder of Northern Karate Schools in the Toronto area, world traveler. He's been training with everybody. He also trains in Okinawa and he teaches in Okinawa at times when he goes there. So my favorite guy, Hanshi, it's all up to you, sir. You got 3 big minutes. Go for it.
First of all, can you hear me okay? Can I get a thumbs up from Randy? We're good? Perfect, guys. It's an honor, a privilege to be on this mega podcast, broadcast, whatever you want to call it, super duper YouTube show with Nicholas Suino and Randy and Sean and my Gary Legacy, my friend for 48, 49 years. Being first, of course, I need to set the stage a little bit. My first karate tournament was in 1967, and I became obsessed with karate tournaments. So from early 70s till end of 80s, we were the tournament school. We went every weekend. We went from Muscushque back to Chicago, from Pennsylvania to Florida. And then in the 80s, I expanded from all the national tournaments, Joe Corley's Battle of Atlanta, Mid-America, Diamond Nationals, et cetera, et cetera. We competed everywhere, and that was my lifestyle. It was very adversarial lifestyle. It was something we trained to basically go to competition and try to prevail, win. Sometimes we made friends. Sometimes we lost friends because, often if you drive in a car together and one person wins, the other one doesn't, those friendships are very fragile in that respect. So that was kind of our life. I met great things. I met incredible people. You were talking about Bill Superfoot Wallace and Joe Corley and Joe Lewis, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that was available through the tournaments, Grandmaster Junri and on and on and on and on. And those through competitions. And I thought there was the cat's pajamas, the pinnacle, the ultimate thing. And in the late 80s, I became very dissatisfied with tournaments. I thought it was too easy to win. So, we started competing where you had 10, 15 divisions, and suddenly we're going to tournaments where there's 250 divisions, and everybody was pretty much guaranteed a Sigma trophy. So I didn't want to do that anymore. I didn't want my students to do that anymore. And we kind of had an overlapped period. And then 1993, John Therien organized what's called a WKF convention. Okay, I didn't know what that was. He invited me. We were friends for many, many years. I can't really remember when we became friends because I helped him with his kickboxing things. I actually did some commentary. I fought in some of those fights. I did some demonstrations. And so we've known each other for a long time. So, okay, I'll give it a shot. So first of all, we walk into this room and there was, Alan Sai and Richard Morris and other people. Incredible teacher by name John Stedman from England, whatever. And within 15 minutes, my mouth dropped. I was in a completely different world. This was World of Combatives, first of all, versus, I don't want to say make believe, but it was not really about who has the fastest hook kick in a room. It was about locks, throws, chokes, things that you have to remember. This is pre-UFC, also. It was a completely different environment for us. And I think it took about 15 minutes for us to fall in love with this whole concept. With a promoter, first of all, I can't separate Capital Conquest and I can't separate WKF. To me, that's really one and the same. So that's, when I talk about Capital Conquest, I'm actually talking about a group of people like Alan Saie and Johan Skalberg and, Rooney Hendrickson and, Hammer and, et cetera, Roberto, and I could go on and on and on about all the incredible people that I became friends through Capital Conquest, and then WKF conventions and the elite camps of WKF. It's my impression of WKF and Capital Conquest is not really an impression. It is a life-changing experience. So it's not meeting Bill Wallace, which was a nice thing to say, or meeting Grandmaster Joe Louis. It's not those things. It is a paradigm shift of how you view martial arts. So for me, Capital Conquest, John Therien, and at that time Richard Morris and Alan Saie, and now it's Mr. Morris passed away. And just meeting the Scandinavians, meeting the Germans, the French, the Austrians, meeting the Swiss and the Belgians. They all have a very particular way of doing martial arts, very dedicated. And in the mid-90s, Kirsty Terry and Alan Saie invited me to visit some different schools and do different international camps. And I fostered lifelong friendships, the Damon family. I could go on and on, We've lost people over the years as well, which has made an incredible impression in my life. But to me, it really, if there's, BC before Christ and Anno Domini after, in some ways for me, life began in 1993. So even though I started karate in 1966, my real Budo life started in 1993. And I've been to Japan, I've been to Asia over 60 times for training and research and things like that. And I learned more at Capital Conquest than I do in Japan, Okinawa. I've been to almost every Asian country and studied martial arts, from Vietnam, India, Cambodia, Laos, etc., Thailand, you can name it. I was there and sat in shorts kicking with 14-year-old kids. But when I go to Capital Conquest, it's just a class event. It's a class event, class people. If you've seen how, a simple banquet is grace and generosity and luxury to it, everything. To me, it's a gold standard. And the more I travel, the more I see, the more I appreciate. Capital Conquest, WKF, John Therien, Terry Lynn, Alan Saie, Jean-Yves, my Budo brother, and everybody else on this broadcast are just simply the best. So I'm not sure those 3 minutes, but that's all I want to say. I'm done.
I would not cut you off because what you said really highlights the weekend and for the other people. Thank you for all the good and kind words that you do, and especially for your contribution to martial arts. Thank you, Hanshi. Thank you very much.
Cesar.
Our next guest comes from Sweden. His name is Johan Skalberg. He teaches Kali Sikaran. His title is Punang Guru. He's a very, very accomplished Kali instructor and knife instructor. And I'm going to say a little something. Alain Saie, who travels the world, one day said, I knew Johan as a martial artist, and he was good. And then Alain said, have you seen Johan lately? I said, no. I said, he's getting better. I said, okay. The next year he said, he's arrived, he's there. And I said, what are you talking about? I said, now he's playing with sticks, knives, and he's fantastic. And I said, well, let's bring him to Capital Conquest. Let's give him the opportunity to shine on the world stage, and let me have a look at him. Well, folks, he is here tonight. He is everything that Alain Saie said, everything that I said, and then some. Take it away, my friend. It's all yours for 3 minutes.
Okay, he might actually be muted still right now.
Second.
You missed a great entrance. It's all yours. Can you hear me? We
Yes.
can't hear you.
He's still muted.
You're still muted.
He wasn't, and then now
The great martial artist. I said that,
he
right?
is.
No.
Are we doing better
Oh,
now?
there he's on.
Boy.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for that presentation. I have to say that I'm honored and humbled to be together with all you nice instructors here. And I'm supposed to say something nice about Capital Conquest. And let me tell you, it's not that easy. First time I got there, they put me in the hallway. And I was thinking, what's that all about? But I had such a great time with all the people there. So I kind of got over it and okay, I'll give it another chance. And the second time I went to Canada, I started to be really suspicious because this time they stopped me at the border and forced me to pay for working visa. So I wasn't sure, is this some kind of setup or trick or something? But anyhow, joke to the side, it's amazing to be in Capital Conquest. And when traveling the world, I meet people all the time and everybody's asking me, where is your favorite place in this world? And me personally, I say the same answer every time. Whenever you sit down with somebody, having a dinner or visit their home or work out on the mat with them or having a beer, people are people and everybody's nice. I'm enjoying myself all around the world and I appreciate the world. But when I go to Capital Conquest, you feel like a big part of the world is there. And I think that's what's unique because we have that same passion and we share that passion and the mutual respect. And we're making the world a better place. And being part of Capital Conquest for me is amazing. And now we're bringing the entire world together in this event, which I also think is amazing. So I think that's really, really cool. And we need that now more than ever because COVID, I know a lot of people having a tough time. And now it's a time to show that you're all martial artists and that you are fighters, because the fight doesn't start when you get into the ring. The fight starts when you don't feel like you want to fight any longer. And I know a lot of people are fighting out there. So show everybody that you are a martial artist, that you are a fighter, deal with everything we have now and take the help of the good energy and the passion we share in Capital Conquest, World Kobudo, and all our martial art friends.
Friend, I want to thank you so much. I want you to stay safe. As you said, the fight starts when the game starts, when the fight starts. Well, we're fighting now. And your contribution to martial arts has been great. Best and good hello to your wife and everybody in the Sikaran Club.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you so much.
And a very nice guy. Do we have Kevin Block on the on yet? Kevin Block is a Hanshi. He's a 9th Dan in Aikido. The name of the school is Chudokan. And he's in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. I don't see him right now, but our special lady who's doing all the work is Tori. And she's got a lot of stuff to do. And there's a lot of people to bring on. So as we wait for Kevin Block, is he on?
Hanshi?
I'm on.
Hanshi, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Sensei Block is audio only, Tori is saying. So he doesn't have a camera. So we're only going to hear his voice.
Let's go. Let's do
it.
And
he's from my hometown of Windsor. We don't like to be seen usually anyway. People would prefer that I black my camera out too.
That's for the Kevin. That's for the police protection program. So go ahead, Kevin.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You have 3 minutes.
Excellent.
Go for
Excellent.
it,
yeah. Sorry about the camera thing. It was on my desktop and my laptop, which has it, is being used by someone else at the moment. But I'm very happy to be here, be a contributor to this wonderful group. My own personal background was, I started martial arts in 1967. I actually started with karate and then went into judo and eventually into kung fu. Lived in China for a little while, then got involved in Aikido in a way that just hooked me, got me going for quite some time. But I was very much revitalized and found a whole new path. Back in 1994, I was invited by you, kind of roundabout with some connections I had in Japan. And we went to an event that you were hosting with Alain Sai. And at that time, I did a little bit of teaching and we finished where the group it wasn't a huge group. We had about, I think 80 or 90 at the end. We all put them on one mat. And Hanshi Sai would do a technique and leave the technique in some type of a lock, hold, or pin position. And then I would take over and then I would add some other aspect. Then he would add some other aspect, back and forth. And we'd either throw the student or pin the student and constantly pick that same person up. Someone referred to it as a Budo beach ball. I would beach ball this person over to him. He would wrap him up and throw him over to me, and I'd wrap him up, throw him back. It was very much fun. In fact, personally, I found it hilarious. So we had quite a bit of fun laughing and great Budo training. And it started a path for me as well. I was introduced to you, to Hanshi Sai, to a number of other individuals at that time. And it's no looking back. I've been very happy to be a part of this, was able to travel extensively because of this fantastic organization that allowed so many different martial artists to get together, to bring their skills, to bring their camaraderie, their friendship, and to share. That's the biggest thing, to be able to share. No one can learn it all. No one knows it all. And to have so many high-level people willing to share, to be approachable, as one of your earlier guests was saying, the idea to speak to someone maybe from a different country, a different art, and to speak very simply and plainly was so refreshing for me. It got me out of a path that I was on into a better place, including the path I was on, branching into new things. I was able to travel to France and Belgium and England, Switzerland, throughout the United States and Canada, and just expand what I was doing. So I can't say enough about it. It just it brought very many great people together. Hundreds of my students have been involved through the last 26 years or so of World Kobudo, and very enjoyable. I know they're looking forward to opportunities in the future. Certainly once COVID has passed and we get a chance to travel again, certainly has stopped us from doing a lot of that. We'll be back again, and back with that same open energy, and hopefully moving onwards and upwards to a bit bigger and better place. And I can't thank Hanshi Therien enough, and Hanshi Sai, and especially Hanshi Berkowski, who's been a very special friend and confidant with me, and helped make my life very much better, very much more improved.
Thank you very much, Kevin. And it's always a pleasure to have you on the mats. Please stay safe. I know you have a family gathering in a few minutes. Enjoy them all, and wish them the best from all of us over here on this show.
I shall. Go WKF.
Yes, thank you. And now our next guest. I don't think anybody knows him, so let me introduce him. Alain, can you hear us? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Alain say he's a Hanshi. He's a 9th Dan in Goshendo. He is from France, and he is one of my brothers. He is the co-founder of World Kobudo with me and Richard Morris back in 30 years almost ago. Alain his job in World Kobudo is to travel the world and teach and recruit new talent as he sees them. Then he has a couple of beers, he has a nice meal, he sends them all to me, I do all the work, but together we create magic. And for that, Alain, I want to thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, this man is about the best martial artist technically that I have ever seen in my lifetime. So whenever you have a chance to train with Alain Saïd, do not pass it, take it. Alain, 3 big minutes for you. 3 minutes, mon ami. Allez!
Yes, yes. First, I want, Ajime, yes. Hello to everybody around the world. I am so happy to be here. And of course, you know, I am so lucky because I participate at all the Capital Conquest, still the beginning. It was in 1991. And for me, it was like, what is this? It's amazing to see thousands and thousands of people all together, all martial artists practicing together under the umbrella in one way, you know, about martial arts with a good friendship all together. No politics or my style is better as your style and whatever. No, it was fabulous. But at this time, what things happens? We wake up a person, an amazing person, Hanshi John Therien, okay? And he is a fantastic chef d'orchestre. I think in English, chef d'orchestre is correct also. And he animates this unique festival of martial arts. He has a natural talent to bring people together and put a wonderful smile on the face. Because in this Capital Conquest, you meet legend and champion, Jean-Yves Thériault, Darrell Hannigan, Elvis Stoico, Wallace Loki, Bill Wallace. You see actors, cinema actors, movie actors, Don Dragon Wilson, Bob Wall, Alain Moussi. I know Alain Moussi. He was at the beginning 10 to 11 years old, okay? And we help him, we bring techniques to him, and after that you see him grown up, and now he's a famous actor. It's fabulous. And we see also so many students, they was young, and now they start to be teacher. You know, wow, it's a fabulous adventure. It's amazing. What we see, well, we see, of course, a lot of fantastic teachers, and most of them are on the screen now. So hello, everybody. So much knowledge, so much, they want to give so much, okay? And what we try to do in this Capital Conquest is to inspire the people and give enthusiasm for the future, because martial arts is a long life, you know, a long way, and it's important we are here to push and to pull our students together. So I want to have very soon a contact with everybody, but in life, touch you, sweat with you, and have, of course, a lot of fun and Capital Conquest next year. Thank you, Hanshi John Therien.
Thank you, LSAE. So many nice words that you said. And please keep up the good work. Just for you to know, he's been locked down for 5 months. He is anxious to get on the road. And as soon as the COVID is lifted, Alain, you're going to have your little luggage, but you're going to be gone for about 2-3 months, teaching 5 days a week. I know. Love you too, brother. Thank you. Bye-bye. Our next guy is a very special man. He's a Kyoshi with Northern Karate Schools. He's an 8th Dan in Karate Do. He's from Woodbridge, Ontario. He's got a couple of schools. He's in the GTA. Is Kiyoshi Cosvona. And Cos created something at Capital Conquest that became a legend around the world. Cos, all yours.
Thank you, Hanshi, and thank you for having me. I just feel like for all the Kyoshis, Shihan, Renchis, senseis in Northern Karate School, we always look forward to Capital Conquest every year. I remember way back driving our own cars. The next year would be rented vans. Sooner or later, we're taking bus loads of people to Capital Conquest in Ottawa. And basically our staff was a prerequisite to everybody go to Capital Conquest to basically fill in the gaps in their training. Sometimes you get a little stagnant, you go on, you take a class. The instructors are, you know, unbelievable. You know, it was always somebody came back with something. The sharing of everything was amazing. So I want to wave to everybody because I miss you, because it was a highlight to go to Capital Conquest for not only our students, but our staff, our organization. With that, I got the chance to travel with Hanshi Berkowski and help him when we different World Kobudo events. And of course, the social aspect came into it where, you know, people would bring food from everywhere in the country. I don't know how it started. They ended up in my room, but one story was that I think we were in Switzerland and I came back home. My wife opened my luggage. It smelled of cheese and stuff. She says, take that out into the garage and take everything out. It was, so, you know, besides talking martial arts and the social aspect, I think if the whole world could do what we did, the place, it would be a better place, because we cross-cultural, mixed it with martial arts, mixed it with the training. You sweat together, you ate together, you bonded together. So it definitely was enjoyable. You know, I got a chance to go to Greece with Hanshi Berkowski, Switzerland, a lot of France. It was very enjoyable. The atmosphere, the positivity, and like I said, too bad we couldn't have it because the world needs it more than ever. And I look forward to next year. And on behalf of Northern Karate Schools, we look forward to supporting it next year. And I'm sure Hanshi will make sure that we're there supporting it. So thank you, everybody. I miss everybody, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cuz. And Cuz became famous. Name was Cuz Cafe. And we always ended up over there because it's a reunion of brotherhood. So all the instructors next year, you cannot go to Cuz Cafe unless you check with me first, because the room is not that big. Thank you, Cuz. Have yourself a great afternoon. Thank you for sharing. Our next guest is from the United States. He's a Grandmaster 10 Dan in Karate, American Karate. He is also the CEO of PKA Worldwide. He is a very good friend of mine. He is somebody that has helped me to help a lot of people in Canada with kickboxing. Ladies and gentlemen, the legendary Gentleman Joe Corley. Joe, take it up, sir.
Hi there, guys. Hope everybody can hear me okay.
Sure.
I'm having trouble with my camera here, so I have no idea what anybody would be seeing right now. The approach I want to take is that in life, the couple of things I enjoy most, besides fast cars and the other thing is I enjoy being a student, and I enjoy getting into relationships with people who follow instinctively what we know as the 7 habits. And back through the Battle of Atlanta days and the early PKA days, I got a chance to meet John Therien, Jean-Yves Thériault, Harry Villeneuve, George Sylvain, Cesar Berkowski, and quite a few other good folks up there. And as I got into the 7 habits and I began to learn that synergy is the thing that we all shoot for, then the main thing that I learned when I came to my first Capital Conquest 2 years ago was that I saw synergy in action again. And that was what I expected, from John Therien, because I had seen it in the PKA with him. So synergy meant that he began with the end in mind. He was able to put first things first, and he was able to be proactive. Then he would look at everything from a win-win perspective. He'd look at a win for both himself and the Canadian PKA, and a win for everybody else. So I saw that in the Capital Conquest as well. He would seek first to understand. He was a person, if you brought problems to, rather than waiting for you to take a breath and start talking, he would actually listen carefully and then begin solving the problem with you. And then all of that led up to being synergistic. In other words, if you do those first 5 habits, then habit 6, the synergy comes into play. And that's the thing that I've seen from that first Capital Conquest 2 years ago. And then when we came last year and we saw Bill Wallace and Wally Slokey and Jean-Yves and Ben, then we saw all of that in action again. Again, everybody working together for the greater good. And having said all that, it's just a pleasure for me to watch you guys work, to see how everything falls together, see the camaraderie that you have. And, outside the military, I think what you guys have is what many of the good martial arts organizations have, which is kind of the band of brothers, which is just great. And of course, in today's world, to be absolutely correct, the band of brothers and sisters.
Thank you very much, Grandmaster Corley. And I want to say on behalf of all Canada, thank you for all the help you've given us. And we hope to see you at Capital Conquest next year in November. So have yourself a great day. And I know there's a big wedding anniversary for you and Madame Corley. So enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Happy
Our
anniversary.
next guest is from all the way up north. In North Bay, Ontario, is a Kyoshi, Chris Marceau, 7 Dan and Shotokan Karate. Now, for those of you around the world that you don't know where up north is in North Bay, I want to tell you that in North Bay, you better learn all your bear hug escapes because they got a lot of bear, They also have a lot of moose. They also have a lot of reindeer, but they've got very nice people with a warm heart. Take it away. It's your 3 minutes of stardom. Go for it.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for having us up for this video. To start off, we were asked to talk about history and what we've enjoyed most about Capital Conquest. I'm going to take a step back. I first met everybody. This would be Mr. Jean-Yves Thériault, Mr. Seyi, Mr. Therien, and some of the other senior instructors, even further north. We did a seminar up in Timmins. And that was in 1996. So this was my introduction to the World Kobudo. And what a moment, what a weekend we had up there. From there, we progressed back to Ottawa year after year after year. And since 96 till today, I've not missed one. And here we are this year doing it this way for a change. And I think this is capitalizing for each and every one of us, as showing the world that we can get together and still do what we have to do. The next moment I want to talk of was in 2007. I actually had some of the senior instructors come to North Bay. Now, some of them knew who my son was, but this is when they got introduced to Nicholas when he was very, very little. And that was quite a moment. And I know Hanshi Therien speaks of it quite often, which is pretty cool for me as a dad, not just a senior instructor. But you know what? I've had instructors from my school come with me, follow along. I've had students come along, and every time they come home, it's always a positive feedback. Gotta get rid of the cats. So everybody's had a great time every time they go. And the reason for going isn't necessarily to find out a new technique, but sometimes just to hear a key word when people are teaching and talking with each other. You know, it's not always the punch, the kick, the block, the control technique, but it's how people speak to each other. And more so than ever, I think learning how to talk to people is more crucial than anything that we've done. And you know what? This is exactly why I go back year after year after year. And it's just a class act all the way from when we arrive on Friday afternoon. And usually this time of year, I'm still wearing shorts because we have snow up here. You know, and it's just the way of life. And that's what martial arts is all about, is learning how to live and train, but more importantly, how to listen to people. And I think this is the key to Capital Conquest, is Hanshi Therien will take the time, Sensei Berkowski, they take the time to listen to what you need, and then they supply it. And I think that's the ultimate in martial arts, is not doing, but giving. So something we haven't done yet.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kyoshi.
Here's a whole bunch more years together, gentlemen.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Enjoy your afternoon, and let's make more history like there already has been some.
Thank you, my friend. Love you. Love everybody up north. Thank you.
Certainly will.
Our next guest is from the United States of America. He is a world breaker champion and holds a world record. Now, we know about a lot of people doing breaking, but this kid is really, really special. I've seen him at the US Open. I've seen him on ESPN. When we see somebody that's good, we don't kidnap them, but we invite them to come and share with us. But the first thing we look after is the personality of the person. This guy is a beautiful man, beautiful heart. He is also a nurse who's working a lot in the hospital. But so we want to thank you for all your services that you've been doing for the last 6 months. But at Capital Conquest, he brings a certain magic and a certain energy. Ladies and gentlemen, Master Adam Grogan, 6th Dan in Taekwondo from Albany, New York. World champ, take it from there.
Thank you so much for having me, Hanshi. This is a huge honor to be included upon such an array of just amazing martial artists. Listening to everybody talk, it's going to be hard not to just steal the best things that everybody said. I think a lot of us are struggling with that because so many great things were said that we all want to say, that we all feel the same about. But I'm going to try to keep mine a little bit more original, even though there's so many great things that have been said. Listening to everybody with their stories going back, 20, 30 years with the WKF, I'm one of the new guys. I think this might have been or is my 5th or 6th year being involved, and listening to the stories. I wish so badly that I discovered the WKF earlier in life, when I was a little bit younger and got involved sooner. But we can't turn back time, but we can move forward. I'm happy to be involved now, and I'm happy to be involved with all the memories moving forward. I'm in Albany, New York. Albany, New York was it was said to be my mentor and grandmaster of mine, that this is the capital of New York, and it's very rich in martial arts, was what was told to me when I was younger. We have so many martial artists, so many martial arts schools in the Albany, New York area. But the one thing I'll tell you is, despite having so many schools and so many martial artists, every one of the schools in this area is kind of like a bubble. Everybody kind of stays to themselves. They don't share. It's very isolated. And I didn't realize that when I was younger and growing up. I just thought that was the way it was. And I always kind of wanted to learn more. And I was one of the few people when I grew up from my school in my area that ventured out to learn different styles besides my main style. And then I started discovering, when I kind of branched out more, there's these seminars and there's these workshops, and you could learn more that way. And I went to a couple seminars, and I thought it was a cool big deal when you had 50 people with different styles gathering in a room sharing, and that was like blowing my mind, and that was a big deal. And then I walked in for my first WKF experience. Wasn't Capital Conquest, but it was the every 2 year the World Convention. So that was my first experience. But just like Capital Conquest, I walked in and it wasn't 50 people from around the area sharing martial arts. It was thousands of people from around the world sharing martial arts. And it just blew my mind, because a lot of our students and a lot of people we know, they do martial arts, right? People do martial arts. But how many people do we know that are martial artists? They live the martial art life. And I mean, there's nothing wrong. We need people that do martial arts, right? Because we need them to keep our schools going and to be participants. But it's rare to find somebody that is a martial artist, that lives that martial art way. And if you're one of those people, which I believe everybody on this group is, and that's why I've become a part of it, you strive to find people like that, because people like that are rare, that are martial artists, that understand you as a martial artist, that isn't just doing martial arts, but lives that lifestyle, that lives that way. And the more relationships you can build with people that are like us, that are martial artists, that is something you can cherish. And you walk in a room with thousands of people, and so many of them are like you, not just doing it, but living it. It's just an amazing, amazing thing. I'm going to close with one last thought. Go ahead, sir.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was absolutely 100% against digital virtual teaching. When the pandemic started earlier this year and my colleagues were like, oh, you got to teach online. I was like, heck no, I'm not doing this online thing. I teach in person. It's not going to work. And then, you know, like many of us that have been doing this for our whole life, if you don't do it, it's tough. I got depressed. I was not myself. My wife is like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I need my students. I need to teach. We need to find a way. And a couple of my mentors from different groups that were more old school than me, more anti-technology than me, more regimented than me, said, hey, give it a try. And I started trying the Zoom teaching, and I instantly felt better. It wasn't the same, but it was better than nothing. And now the same thing with tournaments. When I first thought about a tournament or a convention being virtual, I'm like, that's silly. But now that I'm sitting here feeling almost as good as I could if we were in the same room as being together, thank you, Hanshi, for doing this. I do IT. It is not easy to put this together. What we're doing right now, even though there's this app called Zoom, it is not easy to orchestrate. It's not easy to run. Thank you to everybody behind the scenes that is doing this for us and helping those of us that are martial artists, that are living the martial art life, have something in this crazy time when we can't be together. Thank you, Hanshi.
Thank you so much. And remember, you're a lot of loving coming from around the world. Stay sharp and please keep doing what you do best. Thank you, Master Adam. Our next guy is from the Maritimes of Canada. He is from New Brunswick. Now, for those of you around the world who don't know where the Maritimes are, where New Brunswick is, it's about 12 hours drive east of Ottawa. So, and this guy shows up with a busload of people coming up here, but most of all, he brings knowledge. He brings friendship. He brings a smile. I can't say more than that about this guy. There's just too many good things. His name is Xian Phil Yang. He's a Nate Dan and Daituru Aiki Jiu-Jitsu from Yamaji Dojo in New Brunswick. 3 minutes, all yours, my friend. Can't hear you. He's going to plug in. We can't
It's
hear
okay.
you.
Don't stress.
Good.
This happened. We'll
happened.
get him going. Can't hear you, Sensei Yang. Can't hear you. So this is my suggestion, Hanshi Therien, that we let Sensei Yang continue to try, and he'll make a sound when he gets his thing back on, and we just go to the next person. And as soon as Sensei Yang has his audio working,
okay,
then he'll make a sound and we can get back to him.
Okay. All right. Well, now let's just skip away and go a little bit further than east of Ottawa. We're going to go to Barcelona, Spain. We have over here Kiyoshi Roberto Dofan Ocio. Kiyoshi Roberto has a Therien school in Barcelona. So if you go to Spain, you want to train with him, you can. He's a 7th Dan in Therien Jiu-Jitsu. He is a master instructor for police self-defense. He's an all-around great guy. He's a brown belt in BJJ, and he likes to teach and he loves to train. Now, to assist him today will be Renchi Santiago Pansalas, who's a 4th Dan in Therien Jiu-Jitsu, and he's also a 2nd Dan with Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, training with Robin Gracie. They're both from Barcelona, Spain. Roberto, mi amigo, go. 3 minutes.
Oh no.
Roberto, we can't hear you. Put the sound, the microphone. Can we, is it our side or their side?
Hello, Hanshi.
Very good.
Hello, Hanshi. Hello, everybody around the world. The family World Kobudo Federation. Sorry for my bad English, but my friend and student Santi translated my words. Es todo un placer estar y compartir con vosotros este evento virtual.
It's a pleasure, a completely pleasure, be with you and share this international event.
Este Capital Conquest 2020, que por circunstancias especiales nos obliga a dar un emocionado recuerdo a los que nos han dejado y la esperanza de la pronta recuperación de los enfermos.
This is a special 2020 convention or Capital Conquest, and it forces us to think in all the people that we lose in this pandemic.
Los recuerdos son infinitos. Todos los Capital Conquest son una aventura llena de sentimientos.
They have thousands of memories of Capital Conquest.
Donde compartimos esfuerzos, conocimientos y sonrisas.
And where we shared efforts and smiles a lot.
Es una aventura con complicidades humanas, donde no te sientes extraño en ninguna casa ni en ningún dojo.
It's an incredible adventure in where you share the experience with people in where you don't feel strange in any house or in any dojo.
El Capital Conquest, nuestro Capital Conquest, es una explosión de colores, de expresión corporal, de arte.
Our Capital Conquest is an explosion of colors, of expressions, human expressions, and art.
De darnos unos a otros nuevas herramientas para seguir haciendo lo que nos gusta, con quien nos gusta y como nos gusta.
In where to give us each other the tools to improve and to be better. Okay.
El encuentro con las sonrisas de los años anteriores.
Cabrón, Roberto.
Bien. El sentirte querido y formar parte de un todo.
The meetings and the feelings of be part of an everything.
El calor del brazo que te rodea los hombros para saludarte y plasmar de nuevo.
The heat of the air that surrounds your shoulders.
Ese deseo de compartir.
The desire to share.
No solo una técnica o un ejercicio físico.
Not only one technique or an exercise, a physical exercise.
Sino una emoción humana.
An emotion. Yes, una human emotion. To share a human emotion.
Que nos premia con algo mucho más importante que un intercambio mercantil.
That prize us with something much more important than a physical share.
Nos premia con la satisfacción de dar a los demás lo mejor de nosotros.
It prizes us with the satisfaction of giving to the rest the best of ourselves.
Y recibir lo mejor de los demás.
And receive the best of the rest of them.
Esto y solo esto es para mí el mejor premio.
This and only this is for me the best prize.
El Capital Conquest es el lazo de colores que adorna la mejor de las sorpresas.
Capital Conquest is the best of the color ribbons that when you give a surprise, this ribbon that you put on the box is the best of this.
Personas. Para terminar, con la ilusión y la esperanza puesta en los próximos años.
To finish with illusion and the hope on the next years.
y la ilusión en las victorias de nuestra gran familia en las artes marciales de World Kobudo Federation.
And the illusion on the victories, on the next victories of our family in World Kobudo Federation.
Mi afectuoso abrazo para todos.
Best regards and hugs for everybody.
My big friend, and thank you, Hanshi John Therien.
Gracias, mon ami. Senor, have a great day. Thank you so much. Now, I don't know if Phil yet, I'm sorry? And Santi, who's a new papa.
I swear translating to Roberto, sorry.
Yes. Roberto will buy you a beer for that. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Yes.
It's an honor to be in this special edition of Capital Conquest. It has been many years since I met the international community of World Kobudo, and at that time, I was a young martial art practitioner who could not imagine such an event existed. With so many people and with so many teachers that I admire from a distance. I could not imagine on that time that I was going to be here now with all these masters being part of this. Training with them and learning from them was an absolute privilege. At that time, I was mostly a kickboxer, and you cannot imagine what it meant for me to be able to train and cross gloves with a legend like Junif and train Jiu-Jitsu straight from the source with John, Alain, or Noam Boucham. What I remember most is the feeling of friendship from the first moment with people whom I didn't know at all, but with whom I shared a passion. When we arrived, they offered us to choose to sleep on the tatami or sleep in a family's house, and my friend Raul and myself choose, facing our shame, to share that experience with a family. Patrick's family welcomed us and made us feel like one more. And we share unique moments with friends like Alain Mosi, Aline de la Rose, or Stefan Roy. For me, that's the spirit of Capital Conquest. Technical quality, and above all, human quality. Many years have passed since that first experience, but I still enjoy every moment shared in every event with that spirit that I learned with all my friends in Canada. But I'm still not able to pronounce Ottawa properly. I still say Ottawa. Since then, many things have changed. Thanks to everyone. I discovered my true vocation, and today I'm completely professional in martial arts with my own dojo, run it with my partner and friend Jesus, and I continue learning from my teacher Roberto and all my World Kobudo teachers. And I feel fortunate to be alongside all these great teachers from all over the world with John and Alain at the front. Almost 9 months ago, I don't know if you remember, John, I shared with you in a meeting Zoom that my wife was pregnant, that I was going to be daddy. And now I would like to introduce you the new member of World Kobudo. She is Sophia, and she's 2 weeks old. So, hello, Sophia. This is my World Kobudo family. And kisses to all of you. I'm sure that she will be sharing tatamis with us as soon as possible. Big kisses to all my family.
Have a good life. Thank you so much. We speak soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was so nice, and that was great. And we will have another news about new babies later in the program. So now we're going to go back to our friend in the Maritime. Jean-Yves, we're just going to skip to Phil because he was locked down and with no sound. Phil, can you hear us and can you speak? Tori, can we get Phil Yang? Well, let's move on with Jean-Yves Thériault. We'll get Phil later. So, ladies and gentlemen, in the blue corner, he weighed in at 23 times world kickboxing champion with a beautiful haircut like me. Take it away, Jean-Yves the Iceman Thériault.
Thank you so much.
Don't ring the bell. Okay.
Most of the time they send me in the neutral corner. So blue corner, red corner, I don't know what. But it's a pleasure being here with you all. As you can see, I'm in the comfort of my own home, but I would rather be at Capital Conquest. This is an event that happens annually for the last 25, 26 or 7 years. Chronologically, I'm not exactly sure where World Kobudo Federation fits in as opposed to Capital Conquest. I was well into my career, doing some promotion or doing some seminars across the world as well. At one point, my friend, my dear friend, Hanshi asked me, are you interested in participating in a training camp that we'll do here locally? And I said, of course I would. I'd love that. I mean, I've always been traveling alone, and weeks on out, months on out, and this is going to be quite something quite welcome for me. So, and I went, and we validated some of our own instructors, because we did at one point have many schools, and we weren't really familiar that often with the other head instructors at those schools. So I thought, wow, this is great. Shortly thereafter, Mr. Therien had the vision to put a federation together with some of his trusted friends, Alain, mon ami cher Alain, je te salue, and Richard Morris. And well, I thought at that point, that's a big order. He's going to try and put together a convention of martial artists from around the world. And we all know that sometimes there's a break between one style and the other. And so, okay, great, I'm with you. Of course, I'm with you. And so we decided to put these things together. And at the end of the convention, as you well know, the people that are listening, as you well know, we have a demonstration. We have a soiree or night of martial arts where, you know, some of the people from the countries that are participating in the convention will show their demonstration. And so we start out with a couple of kids, and they're doing great and very impressed. I've never been part of the demonstration because I was busy doing something else. And then comes the Spanish people. So, oh Lord, what is this? And then the Norwegians, and then the Germans, and holy shit, what's going on here? These people are amazing. It just scared me. I remember seeing the Norwegians and the Finns and the Spanish and the French and the Germans and the Americans, and it's like, holy Lord. John Therien had a vision, and this is going to be something way bigger than any other federation, because there are many federations around the world. There's going to be better than most federations in the world. So evidently from that time on, I've developed some great friendships, people that I love. Mi hermanos, felicidades, Jesus. Mi hermanos, Roberto, buenos dias. And people around the world. And since then, I've become a better instructor. I've become a better person. And I just absolutely love my martial art family. And one guy that I can't say enough of, the guy that changed my life entirely, my dear friend John. Merci beaucoup, je t'aime. Love you.
Thank you, Jean-Yves. This is quite moving for me. So thank you. Together, we rode a nice ride. We had a nice one, and it's not over. We only have 30, 40 years to go.
Absolutely.
And with a solid mind, I hope. Thank you. Enjoy your afternoon, and thank you for sharing. We're going to go back to Phil. Yeah.
Hanshi, I'm sorry to interrupt. Everybody will kind of laugh about this, but Victoria Feth messaged me and said, I have to go pee really, really badly. So she's had to run to the bathroom. And what I said to her is, don't worry, we'll keep it going for you. So I wanted to ask you, Hanshi Therien, these people, I know that the champ, I understand the history of you, but I'd be curious to know where you first ran across Hanshi Sai. Where did you and he first cross paths? Where did you meet him?
Well, it started in the 80s. I started to hear about a Frenchman who's doing some magic on the tatami. Well, I've heard that before, then I hear it from somebody else. But I'm going to rewind to 1976. I had a tour of England, France, Germany, and Belgium with 15 students. And we went to train at Hanshi Sai's dojo, which was not his dojo at the time. It was his teacher. And we went there to share the mats. I would teach, and his teacher would also teach. So we get there, but Alain, you have to remember, Alain's about 18 years old then, and the father said, no, you can't go. You have to study. You have an exam at school tomorrow. Monsieur Sailly is very boom. But here's something that I can share with the world because it's a beauty. That day, Alain has passed his exam, and I was asked to sign 3 black belt certificate with Roland Maroteau, who was his teacher. And I said, of course. One was for Alain Sailly. One was for his father, Michel Sailly, and then somebody else. And his brother Olivier was a brown belt. So I did not meet him that day, but I saw the name. Then I hear the legend about him, and it all went fantastic. And then we became inseparable. There was a camp in the Channel Islands back in the 80s again, and in Guernsey. And I knew Alain was teaching at that camp. I could not go, so I sent Bernie Ladouceur with another student. And I said, Bernie, go there, train, have fun, enjoy it. And let me know about this French guy. Well, he came back. He said, you know what everybody told you about the Frenchman? Yeah, it's that and more. Then I meet Alain in 1990, I think, in Toronto, teaching a camp. He only spoke English. No, he only spoke French and German. So everybody speaking English, I walk over to him. I shook hands with him. And the moment I shook hands with him, there was a chemistry, an energy that we bonded right away and became friends for life. His personality was golden. And I said, come to French Canada, which is Ottawa, Quebec, and parts of New Brunswick, and I'll organize a tour for you. Well, it was like the Beatlemania tour, It became the Alain Sailly Mania tour. So that was when I really connected with Alain Sailly for the first time, and we became friends forever. And Alain, I know you're listening. And if I was to ask Alain what I told him that day, I said, Alain, never change your personality, and we're going to be friends forever. He has never changed his personality. And that's why the world loves you today. And that's why you keep giving and sharing. So that is really good. Now we move on because I heard Tori is back. Okay. So this is fantastic. And you deserve a nice break. Now, this guy, I gave a nice introduction, but let me do it again on a small way, my friend Xian Phil. Xian Phil Yang, Ape Dan, and Daituru, Aiki Jiu-Jitsu from New Brunswick, Yamaji Dojo. All yours, my friend. Go ahead.
So can everybody hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank goodness. Woo! Well, thank you very much, Hanshi. It's an honor. And so basically, I think it was probably 9 years ago or so. I give thanks where thanks is due. And I made friends with a gentleman named Danny Roussel. And he said, hey, you know what? Why don't you go to Northern New Brunswick, a little town called Lamec. There's a martial arts cross-training session going on. You should go. So I went. I walk in. I'm meeting people like Jean-Yves Theriot. I'm like, what is going on? And Pierre Marceau. And Pierre Marceau, he invited me to a convention that he has annually. I went. From there, I got invited to, of course, Capital Conquest. And I think that was maybe 8 years ago now or so, and I believe I've gone consecutively every year since. It's amazing. I'm walking into these conventions. I'm looking at the people, the quality of martial artists spanning across the floor, and the hairs on the back of my neck are standing up because I'm just a punk kid. I started when I was 5. I'm 48 now, but I'm seeing people on the covers of magazines when I was a kid. Jean-Yves Theriot, Wally Slokey, and I'm just blown away. Hanshi has invited me to his home with Terry Lynn, and I find myself sitting on a couch. On one side of me is Jean-Yves Theriot. On another side of me is Wally Slokey and Hanshi, and everybody's talking about all of these old stories, and it was surreal. It's like an outer body experience trying to, I'm blown away. And, I just want to say that this group of people are sincere and are filled with integrity. Before I had the pleasure of being introduced to this group, there's a lot of, I'm going to say, not so authentic folks out there. And you know, I'm feeling very blessed that myself and all of my students have the opportunity to meet such a great group of people. And as people have already said, this is a great group of people. It's just beautiful. There's one conversation that I was having with Cesar Berkowski at one of the Capital Conquest events. He said to me, you know, he said, "Thank you for being here. It's like opening up a window and having some fresh air blow in, and that will forever stay with me." And I just want to say, you know, it's the opposite. Having everybody, all of the friendships that I've made with everybody that's in the panel here, and so many more, it's life changing. So thank you very much. I should also say, to expand on the friendships made without Capital Conquest and everything that I've just explained, you know, we now have a Yamaji dojo in Berlin, Germany. Um, Ronnie and Daniel, they're leading Yamji Dojo there, and so much so that Danny had a baby 2 years ago, and I'm his daughter's godfather. How did, like, all that came from you, Hanshi, right? So thank you very much. That's basically all I can say for 3 minutes is thank you, thank you, thank you to everybody. It's a pleasure.
Nice to hear from you, and you're quite welcome. And we will get together, folks, in 2021. Don't worry, we got a lot of action, and we're going to kick the butt to that COVID. Thank you very much, Ian Phil. Our next speaker comes from Romania. We see him on the screen right now. He's Master Gabi Oansi, and he is a sixth dan in Chambada. And for those of you who don't know what Chambada, it's a new sport for World Kobudo, and it's with a little bit of a sword. And so last year we said, why don't you come? And he said, well, it's just another camp. And I said, well, yes, I know it's just another camp, but come a week earlier. We'll put you up somewhere. We'll get you to teach during the week. You'll train somebody named René Graton, who will become your Canadian contact for Chambada, and then come to Capital Conquest. Now that I've said that, you have 3 minutes, my friend. Enjoy this, Gabi. It's your turn. Can't hear you. Gabi, we cannot hear you. Gabi, I cannot hear you. The microphone.
So Hanshi, Tori says that she sent him a message. Oh,
should be
maybe
good now.
we're good now.
Go.
Okay.
Hey, yes.
Wow, perfect. Hello, everybody. Bună seara, colegilor din România. It's an honor to be with you here. My journey in the world of World Kobudo Federation began around 2000 by meeting the extremely important person for me, Hanshi Alain Said. Alain, do you remember the ticket you put on my gym unused? You wrote, get to work. It was the excuse I need at the moment. In 2002, I was attending the World Convention in Lucerne, and I was making friends with a Canadian family, Franz and Janet Schatzdorfer. They first told me about the extraordinary Capital Conquest event. I did not even dream in 2002 that in 2019 I would also participate in this event, and the invitation of Hanshi John Therien, creating the opportunity for me to bring a new martial sports, Chambara, to World Kobudo Federation. Capital Conquest is an event of exceptional magnitude. It's an extraordinary outfit with over 2,000 participants, with competition, show, meeting, congress, and especially a lot of the training. Workouts for all style, Kobudo, Karate, Jiu-Jitsu, Goshindo, BJJ, Kali, Kendo, Qigong, Chambara, and many other styles. Who are the teachers? Some of the most titled names in martial arts, the best coaches, celebrity in the world of martial arts. Who is the artisan of this event? Hanshi John Therien, founder and president of World Kobudo Federation. Let's applaud him now, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabi. You're a very nice man. And I know you're very, very busy. So keep up the good work and we see you at the next event.
Thank you. I'm waiting for meet you.
Okay.
Bye.
Our next guy, we go back to the United States. We're going to Buffalo, New York area, in a little place just in the suburb called Hamburg. He's a Kyoshi. His name is Mike Downs. He's 7 Dan Ishinryu Karate in Buffalo, New York. The school is called
Defensive Arts.
There you go, Defensive Arts Martial Arts School. So your 3 minutes, Michael. It starts now. Go ahead, sir. Mike Downs. Do we have Michael Downs or Mike Downs or Kyoshi Downs?
Yeah, he's on, Hanshi.
Still muted,
I see that he's still muted, so he might have to click the button to unmute himself at this point. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
No. Sorry, his name is Michael Downs.
Yeah, Michael Downs
Oh,
is.
there we go.
There we go. All yours, sir. And by the way, Michael just got married a month ago, so congratulations. You got your 2 minutes. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. I just want to say that I'm really humbled to be here with all of you, and it's a little surreal. I miss all of you. This group is what fuels me throughout the year from a martial arts standpoint. When I think back, I've been around Capital Conquest just under 10 years. And prior to that, I had been hearing about this person named John Therien probably almost 40 years or so. Initially, it was through Hanshi Berkowski, and I had been seeing Hanshi Sai on and off again a little bit in those years as well. So I knew what World Kobudo was, but I didn't know what Capital Conquest was. It may not have even been born yet when I was first hearing about John Therien. So as time was going, I would primarily be exposed to Cesar Berkowski and Elaine Sai, and I would do a lot of seminars, of course, like we all do. And somewhere along the line, as I opened my own dojo, which is about 20 years or more now, Matt Dorsey had called me up and said, I'm having Elaine Sai come in. Would you want to sponsor him? Would you want to help transport and move him around to different seminars? Because Matt Dorsey and I are pretty close. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So for the next 10 years or so, Elaine Sai would push me, go to Capital Conquest, go to Ottawa, meet John Therien. And I, just for various reasons, just kept putting it off. And honestly, I wish I could rewind time and go back in the time machine and have met John Therien and all of you 30 or 35 years ago now, because my life is amazing because of this group now. As I look forward, you know, I get to see all of you many times a year. My martial arts personally has gotten so much better because of you. My school itself, as most of you know, houses what I call the pillars. I see Jean-Yves Theriault, who visits my school 3 or 4 times a year, John Therien, Dan Guillemette, Matt Dorsey, Greg Pollock, Johan Skolberg. I mean, if I'm missing anybody, I'm sorry. We're doing all of this through all of you and honoring John Therien for everything he's developed. When my students say to me, why do you follow John Therien, or what's in it for you? I'm telling you, it's just to learn, to be a student, to go into a room of thousands of people and be a student and just lost in the masses versus having to be the one running the thing every day like all of us do. There's a saying that one of my close friends says, I'm sure it was a quote, he quotes me, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Or maybe another way of saying it is, if you're the toughest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Well, I'm surely not the toughest when I go to Capital Conquest. So I always feel recharged and invigorated when I'm around all of you. Because of John Therien, I've been able to travel the world. You know, I got to meet all those fantastic people in Austria a few years ago. Because of him, I'm looking at Mr. Smolana right now and just wishing I was back in Austria. I'm sorry we didn't get to go this past year. I miss all of you, and I hope to get back to this very soon and hopefully to make new friends. I feel like I'm getting to know Sensei Suino and Dofan a little bit. I had met Hanshi Legacy a few times many decades ago. I'm sure he doesn't remember me. The last thing I want to leave you with is this, the same guy, another quote. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. All of you are my future, and I miss and love all of you. So thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, sir. And best regards to Madame. Okay, take care. Now we're going to go and cross the Atlantic Ocean, and we are going to go to Norway. Hey? Chantal Vaillancourt. I am so sorry. We are far from Norway. We're in Boisbriand, Quebec. This lady is a fantastic teacher. She goes to train in Okinawa. Her sensei is there. She came into the group a few years ago. And Sensei Chantal Vaillancourt, 5th Dan, Shorin Ryu, Okinawan Karate. All yours, Chantal, all yours. Merci.
Thank you, Hanshi. Very nice to be here. I feel very blessed also. I'm a newcomer in all this. Hearing all your stories, this is wonderful, and I feel very blessed. But yes, I am a newcomer, and I am very, very happy to be part of World Kobudo Federation. Listen, my first encounter was with Hanshi Sai. We participated in one of the seminars he was giving not far from our dojo. And I had attended with a couple of my students, and I will always, always remember the faces on my students. After that seminar, we got to talk with Hanshi Sadi, and we felt part of something. And the reason why I came into this federation was because of my students. The faces, what we got out of it, and the potential that there is out there is crazy. I mean, you meet these people, and as all of you said, you meet these people and you feel part of a family, and you feel like an equal. And far from me from saying that I'm equal to each and every one of you, but I feel blessed. And when we are part of Capital Conquest or any other Budo events, the things we learn in those events, seminars are just amazing. And the one thing that's fun is that your students bring back they come back with a very open mind about martial arts. And I think that is very important because as you know, we all practice our own martial arts and we love our karate or love our aikido or whatever. But at the end of the day, I think a martial art has to be open-minded and have to be open to new things. And that's what Capital Conquest is all about. So chapeau, as we say in French, to the Hanshi Sai, Cesar Berkowski, Hanshi John Therien for hosting those events. They are just amazing. And the other thing that I love about this federation is like I said, the opportunities. I had some of my little kids go up on the stage and perform on last Capital Conquest, and you should have seen those faces. I mean, it just melted my heart. And I had a student from Okinawa that was here, and he performed also on stage, and he was so happy to give out to the world. And I think that's what World Kobudo is all about. So guys, keep on doing this, and I hope to see you soon. I miss you. I miss the fact that I couldn't have Jean-Yves Carriot come to my dojo. COVID started, and I missed out on that one, but it's just new beginnings and new opportunities for me, and we're going to move on for sure. Thank you.
So well spoken, Chantal, and keep giving, because the more you give forward, the more you receive. So we will be soon together. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Salut. Now we will go, and just so you know that Hanshi Legacy speaks French also. So
je sais.
And
we met a couple of years ago. I don't know if he remembers me, but we met in a couple of years ago.
Now we're going to go to Norway. Now we're going to do across the Atlantic. We're going in Viking country, sir. Viking country. No pillaging today, please. We have Carl Frederick Forshammer.
Okay, hello everybody. Thank you for having me in this. I'm honored to be part of this wonderful group of teachers. I will say hello to everybody from my sensei, Rune Henriksen. I'm I mean, I'm standing on the shoulder of great teachers from childhood. It was Sensei Richard Morris, may he rest in peace. And then from teenage age, it was Hanshi Alasai. And from 1990 in Toronto, I met Hanshi John Therien for the first time. And, you know, rest is, you know the story. I spent a great time at the Capital Conquest last year. It was fantastic to meet everybody and be on the mat and looking at the fights and everything. But I will share a story from the first time at the Capital Conquest, and that was 25 years ago in 1995. I was then joining competition and the show. I still promised to join the shows. When we arrived, they asked me, "You want to go bungee jumping tomorrow?" And they said, "Well, it's 200 feet high tower, you know, 72 meters, the highest in North America at the time." And I said, "Okay, yes." And Hanshi John Therien, he said, if you jump without the bungee, it will be less expensive." No. And the guy who took us there was Ontario, and I still got nightmares about this jump. I'm serious, you know. But the reason I tell this is because Ontario took us, a small group of people, to go to that event. You know, it was just for fun, leisure. This was just a few weeks before his last fight, you know, in 95. It's just a few weeks before. And I remember he said, I remember this word, it's so much work and so little time, you know. And you know how the fight ended, you know. I think it was knockout in the third round or something, you know. 23 times world champion. And, you know, so much work, so little time, but still he took the time, you know, for making us feel welcome. And that's what's, for me, World Kobudo and Capital Conquest, it's all about. It's being welcoming and taking the time for each other and make each individual feel special, like I felt at that time, and I still feel together with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carl. And I promise you, the next time you come, you will not do bungee jumping. But have you ever done parachute? Well, that's another story.
Okay, I look forward to it. See you next year.
Our next speaker. A few years ago, I started to see the changes in all the sports and all the martial arts. And strength training is something that's becoming very good for all sports and including martial arts. I have been training now for 6 months with this person. And he said, we're going to call that Hanshi 2.0, just so that I can build up strength, lose weight, get back in top shape, because opportunity came because of the COVID. I don't have to travel. Been training with him. This man trains a lot of NHL and hockey players and basketball and baseball and lacrosse and Olympian. And he is a star among stars. Ladies and gentlemen, gladiator strength coach from Ottawa, Greg Pollock. All yours, Greg. 3 minutes of fame.
Yes, thank you so much, Hanshi. Wow, what can I say? Extremely honored to be involved in this extraordinary event. Thank you, and hello to everybody watching around the world. I've had pretty unique experiences of Capital Conquest, both as a student and as an instructor. I was never the greatest martial artist, but really loved everything about the martial arts and being able to train during Capital Conquest with people from around the world. As a student of Hanshi John Therien in Jiu-Jitsu, participating in Capital Conquest with many people that couldn't even speak English, but the martial arts brought us together. Truly amazing energy and event. Being able to learn from instructors like Shaolin monks. Who would ever think you could learn from a Shaolin monk? Hobbin Gracie of the famous Gracie family, to an actual ninja turtle. I got to train with a ninja turtle. So some pretty amazing instructors there. I was able to host a few dinners for Hanshi for some of his instructors, and got to meet famous people like Elvis Stoico, Don the Dragon Wilson, to name a few. Hanshi then thankfully gave me an opportunity to be an instructor at Capital Conquest and to do gladiator strength and conditioning at these events. It was another great honor to be able to stand along so many great instructors like Jean-Yves Theriot, Hanshi Berkowski, Alain Sailly, Daryl Hannigan, Carlos Newton, Bill Wallace, Joe Corley, Katie Murphy, Charlie Moore, Johan Skalberg, to name a few, and then to give me the chance to meet the great people of Buffalo. And thank you to Mike Downs and Hanshi for now to be able to find a second gladiator home in the town of Hamburg in Buffalo. Then to be able to watch some of the kickboxing events, being able to be able to prepare some great fighters like Jonathan Mounier, the Yasudan champ, who competed at Capital Conquest as well, Canadian champ Paul Norman. I was able to prepare other martial artists like Sandra Lanois-Bazinet for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competitions. So a great honor to be involved with this event and to be able to train such elite athletes. To finish up, I just wanted to say that these memories I will cherish for my whole life. Dreams do come true. Thank you to Hanshi and Jean-Yves Theriot for allowing me to pursue my dreams and to have my own facility teaching strength and conditioning to the martial arts world. Both of these men have done so much for me. They're both not only my people that have let me train people, but they're also life mentors. So I look forward in the future to seeing everyone once again, and to once again being able to hug everyone once again. So thank you very much, Hanshi, and everybody that organized this. I wish everybody the best and stay strong during these times, and enjoy the rest of the Zoom call. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Greg. And yes, we are very close, and we are overdue to hugging the big family from all over. Thank you for those kind words on everybody, and especially on Capital Conquest. Now we're going to go west of Ottawa in a town called Kingston, which is between Ottawa and Toronto. And we have somebody a very good teacher whose team comes at Capital Conquest the night of the Kobudo Mania show. And they always put on one of the best shows. I know they're great competitors in karate, and they win in komite and kata and Kobudo, but their show at Capital Conquest is always a stealer at the end of the day. So ladies and gentlemen, Shian Rapatri, Seven Dan Shotokan, and Gojuru at SMA Kingston, Canada. All yours, Rob. Can't hear you, Rob. Hang on. I don't know if it's you or us, but just hang on. While we're waiting for
Are we
Rob.
good now?
There, we got you. Go ahead, sir.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. I'm really happy to be able to be a part of this group. You know, we hear everybody talking like Xian Yang and Carl and stuff like that about past memories and growing up in the martial arts and meeting all the big masters. You know, in me growing up, we were looking at trying to find some of the certificates that we got from some of those conventions from Toronto and stuff. And I found one from the 90s, and you see the names on it, and it's, you know, Kai Kuniyuki and John Therien and Walt Edwards and people like that, and Alan Sailly. You know, I think the first time I met Alan Sailly, I was 14, and it was in Napanee, right? And I thought, and he could barely speak any English. It was, you know, positive, negative, and take picture, right? So, and amazing things what some of these instructors could do, you know. And then you start hearing about instructors like Hanshi Berkowski and Jean-Yves Theriot. I grew up watching him on TSN, and I couldn't wait to get home and watch it and watch the fights and seeing that cool, calm look on his face when he's, you know, punching someone out, knocking them to the ground, and he just kind of, oh, okay, yeah, well, we're done, okay, you know. And to get the opportunities, and that's what Capital Conquest has been about, the opportunities to meet people from all over the world, to create new friendships with the instructors, their students, you know, their competitors, my students, you know, making friendships with their students, and you know, staying in touch all throughout the year, and then going back every year to Capital Conquest to see those people and come together again as if we hadn't missed a day, you know. And those are the times that I think I cherish the most, is realizing where we came from and never forgetting where we came from, and then the opportunities that people like Hanshi Alisai and Hanshi Therien and Hanshi Berkowski and Jean-Yves Thériault and, you know, Professor Morris. So we were trying to find the clip. I have a newspaper clipping of when I was younger, of myself being pulled down into a locking my shoulder with Vicky Kerr from Perth. Both of them rest in peace. And, you know, just the memories along the way, you'll never forget. Always cherish them. This is just what I call, we're being reset. We're going to get stronger. We're going to get more powerful. We're going to come back with a vengeance. And it's going to be bigger and better than ever, as Hanshi Therien always says. It's going to be bigger and better than ever. Next year is going to be bigger and better than ever. So I say to you, thank you very much. Don't give up, and let's work on being greater next year. Cheers.
Thank you so much, Shihan. And yes, we'll be back stronger than ever. Our next speaker is a couple. They are from Haihan, New York, USA. And I'm going to start with introducing Renchi Katie Murphy, who's a 5th Dan in USA Goju, also a world champion in kata. And she's a level 4 instructor in Krav Maga. And her husband is David Kalish. And David is a 3rd Dan in Karate USA Goju. He's a level 3 Krav Maga instructor. They are from the Fighting Spirits Martial Arts and Fitness in Haihan, New York. And he gets the crap beaten out of him by his wife, and there's a law against that. So anyhow, it's all yours. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we got you. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much for having us on, Hanshi. It's such an honor. We feel, as everyone else has said, humbled that we were invited to be part of this. This is amazing. And just sitting here listening to all the stories, I too feel like, wow, wish I'd met you 20 years ago. We, like Master Grogan said, we're newcomers as well. This year would have been our 5th year with Capital Conquest. And we actually got met through seminars itself. Our first event wasn't Capital Conquest, but it was the event in Rochester, USA. And seminars has kind of been our thing. It's what we do. We met that way. We met at an event called Super Summers 11, 12 years ago.
In New York. Yep.
In New York, small little event. And it was perfect. The rest is history. But we love events. We do these seminars, the small ones in the area, Saratoga, Rochester, Super Summers, and Herkimer. And it's a great date weekend. It's a great way to get out and do something fun for a weekend and productive, on top of making new friends and meeting other couples who do this.
That's the thing that really stands out for me, is that you always see lots of wonderful things happening on the mats and during the trainings. Katie and I love to do seminars and take seminars together. We love to learn new information and new stuff. But a lot of the things that really stand out for me are actually things that occur off the mats. Like when we were in Athens in Greece, and we come across an instructor that we've known for, Chris Thompson, for a very, very long time, but we never met his wife. His wife was fabulous, right? And we had dinner, and we had lots of outings, and that kind of thing is fantastic. We love to see the couples and connecting with other people off the mats as well.
It's and one of the best things about Capital Conquest, it blows me away the size of it. So we've done a lot of these small seminars, and that first year we walked in and there were 1,000 people.
It's a lot of people.
And I couldn't believe that when we're looking for our assignments and we're like, there's 30 rings? They have 30 seminars? How is this possible?
At the same time?
And then even to take seminars from other instructors, like Igor Kulikov, Sensei Kulikov, who took his judo seminar, spoke all Russian.
Right. No English.
But it was so much fun because you got to watch him and really pay attention to what he was doing with his body and his hands and his positioning, because you couldn't understand the language. And that was a highlight.
Fabulous.
And then taking Bern from Germany, taking Kyoshi Bern's class, and watching him move and how he's so smooth and for such a big man. And then getting, like Dave said, getting to hang out with him and his wife Anita and building those friendships. We were, before COVID, we had plans to go see Bern for Oktoberfest. And
maybe next year.
and so that's been one of the best parts is the training. It really gives us that opportunity to expand on what it is that we do. We can only train in so many different styles at once, right? So we have what we do here at the dojo, but now when we go, what did you call it once? It's like camp for adults.
Right.
So, right? And now I don't have the opportunity near me to train in Kali, for example, but if I go to this camp, I can take a couple of classes. And I love going and just getting to meet new people, train. And I love that Capital Conquest, Greg Pollock has been there. So I get my workout in too, as part of my weekend. So
thank you for making all of this possible.
Thank you very much. And yes, world, we're all going to come back in 2021 somewhere on the mats. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Our next speaker is from Gatineau, Quebec. He is from Therien Jiu-Jitsu and Kickboxing. He's a student of Jiu-Jitsu. He's a fifth dan, but he's a student of Bernie, not Bernie, he's the son of Bernie Ladouceur. But Ben is a student of the Iceman. And he's also, the Iceman brought him up to World Amateur Kickboxing Champion. So ladies and gentlemen, Ben Ladouceur. All yours, Ben. 3 minutes, s'il vous plaît.
Oh, pas de problème. So yeah, a lot of memories from Capital Conquest. I pretty much did them all. Even I was a green belt to blue belt, and we did with the gang. We had like we were like 5 or 6 kids that were training, and we were doing all of those camps, and we would be meeting the Northern Karate Gang, and then so a lot of friends, a lot of memories. I was lucky enough to be a student, and we started our own martial arts school. So then I became a professional teacher. So then learning new techniques, but also learning how to teach. I know I heard somebody said that earlier in the call, and that's one of the most important parts, that you learn techniques, but learn how to teach them. Learn how to teach, how to talk, how to motivate people. He would take a class, and I grew up with Hanshi all my life, and he would come at my house for supper at Christmas. But you would take a class from him, and you already knew the technique. But you would say something that would motivate you, and it's okay. If it motivates me, it will motivate my students. So it's not only learning martial art, but it's learning how to work, how to become a better teacher, and then by itself you will become a better master of your sports and stuff like that. And also, I had the chance last year to put the gloves with Jean-Yves for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Imagine Hanshi and Jean-Yves giving you a call and saying, "Hey, lucky you'll be fighting against the champ on November 1st for this charity event." So I was pretty honored. It's pretty much the highlight of my fighting career was going against your idol for a good cause, for sure. It's like for a hockey player going against Wayne Gretzky, playing hockey with him. So that was fun. So and we're working at the dojo right now, and we were talking, me and my brother and my dad, and then we were saying all those different stories and what could we say, blah, 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 and there's so many stories, but one story is pretty funny. So Hanshi Therien was always the big, like the big bang, always doing, and maybe 10 or 12 years ago, Kobudo Mania was a hell of a big show, like always sold out. People were asking for tickets and waiting in line in case somebody was scalped tickets. So this is how big the show was. And that year, he went all out. We had pyrotechnics, we had fire, everything. And he had rented this big screen, like huge screen. So it's pretty expensive screen. So towards the end of the show, there's a big breaking demonstration. I don't know what happened. It's maybe 10 or 12 years ago, but somebody breaks like a 2x4 on the guy's arm, and then the 2x4 goes flying, boom, right into the screen. And then you would see a Hanshi say, "Oh, who's going to pay for that?" Right? So I think he paid for it or something, but that was a pretty big deal, and that was pretty funny. So, and there's tons of stories like that. So thank you very much for the memories, and see you next year.
Thank you, Ben. By the way, that was a $1,500 breaking demo. I remember. Thank you so much.
All right.
Our next speaker is from the Montreal area in a place called Laval. They have about 41 dojos. It's called Karate Sportif, and they're all over Quebec. It's Sensei Marcelin Quentin, Seven Dan, and Shorin Ryu Karate. Are you with us, Marcelin? Yes?
Yes. Hello, everybody. You hearing me?
Yes.
Yes.
What a privilege. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Merci beaucoup de me recevoir. Je suis privilégié. World Kobudo, when I think about World Kobudo, for me, it's remind me a lot of great memories. It was really interesting because your first speaker, Mr. Hanshi Cesar Berkowski, the story he talked about how his experience with the tournament competition. We travel not all the world, but we did a lot of tournaments in Europe, in the United States with the World Kobudo Federation. And I still remember Mr. Hanshi John Therien, the first time I went in Capital Conquest, and I saw so many black belts inside of the main room, and said, wow, where they all come from. And then we start to do, we went on a mat and we did jiu-jitsu and kick and everything. And it was really fun. At that time, we met Jean-Yves, and my brother did a lot of training with him. And then we promote the Iceman circuit in Montreal. What a great time. And I remember 20 years ago when we put a show on your nighttime show with the musical form called, we did a show called Grease Lightning with Karine Bélanger, Jean-François Lachapelle. It was amazing. And when I think about the Capital Conquest and World Kobudo, for example, 2 years ago when we did our first tournament outside of Canada, not tournament, first event in Europe, and for us, it was a blast with our people, with our students, because sharing is caring, and have good experience with our people, with our students outside of the country. It's unbelievable. So we are so excited, and we look forward for the 2021 edition. And thank you very much, Mr. Hanshi John Therien, because each year now we're having Mr. Alain Sailly. He put a tour in our clubs, our schools, and people loves him. Je sais que c'est beaucoup de travail, Monsieur Therien. Vous êtes là année après année. Vous êtes un grand leader. You're a great leader. So thank you very much, and I wish you the best of all of you for 2021.
Merci, Marcelin. And yes, 2021 will be the martial arts year. We're all going to be back. Now we go to somebody that's I really admire. It's the next generation coming up. He's a young man in jiu-jitsu. He's a native with Richmond Hill Budokan. His name is Sensei Doug Kenispole. And one day, he's always been at Capital Conquest, very quiet, very candidly. He comes in with 20, 30 students, and he trains. And then I said, come here for a minute. I know his rank, I know his background. And I said, you're teaching today on mat number 42 or whatever it was. And he said, really? I said, yes. And I gave him a class because it was time for this guy to step out of the shadows. So 3 minutes, mon ami Doug. Go ahead, sir.
Hello, Hanshi. Thank you so much. I hope everyone can hear me okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Good. So yeah, like Hanshi said, I've been going to Capital Conquest since the beginning. A lot of people find that hard to believe, but I'm a quiet guy and I just like getting in there and training. One of the best memories I think of that time is that used to be a travel weekend with my father. So it was like the dad and lad weekend where we'd go and train on the different mats together. So it's kind of a cherished memory there for me and my dad. Since that time, we've kept training, we've kept coming, we've brought our students as well, and just the the absolute development of not only my own skill and my own teaching ability from training with amazing masters like Hanshi Therien, Hanshi Sai, all the Hanshis, has just been incredible, and it's been so good for my students to participate in that. We look at now, my students and I, it's a yearly event. At the beginning of November this year, they were all bummed out because we couldn't go to Ottawa and train. So it's become a big event in our dojo for sure, and just the ability to make so many friends from all over the world. My big brother Bernd from Germany, my friend Shihan Phil from out east, and all the friends in Ontario and Quebec and the US. It's just been an amazing ride. To be able to teach amongst the masters, the true masters that are on the floor every year is just incredible. It's been amazing for me and for all my students for sure. I think one of my favorite memories was the year, I think it was 2017, where you rented the theater for the last fight of Georges St. Pierre. And just the energy in that room when he won was incredible. All those martial artists coming together to cheer on a true Canadian champion was just absolutely amazing. I think COVID might have us down for a little bit at the moment, but we're going to come out of this. And I think the world needs true martial arts or true Budo to get out of this. So Capital Conquest 2021 is going to be just a crucial part of that, and we're looking forward to it for sure. I know I have a lot of students on the line. I have some students that have never been to Capital Conquest before, and I'm hoping this just pushes them over the edge to come next year with us. So again, I thank Hanshi Therien for inviting me. What an honor. And thanks to everyone on the line. This has been an incredible afternoon so far. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Doug, and keep up the good work, sir. Thank you.
All right, Doug.
Now we're going to go to Antwerp, Belgium. We have Rinchi Dam, 6th Dan in Jiu-Jitsu, a great friend. One of the best demo team in the world right now are the students. 3 minutes, Yannick, it's all yours. Go.
Well, thank you, Hanshi. It's an honor to be here amongst all these great and amazing teachers. It would be difficult, of course, to not repeat myself and not repeat what all the good things that all the other people have already mentioned. But I think I've been in contact with World Kobudo through Alasai, as many of us, and he said, okay, let's. Why don't you come to a convention? So the first convention I went to was like Strasbourg in 1996. And the first thing I saw there was like all these amazing teachers, very good quality, but also like all the people were not talking from a height. They were like regular people, like everybody is friends together, and that was amazing. So I said to my teacher, okay, next time let's go to Canada, and we went to the convention in Quebec. And a few years later, we went to the first Capital Conquest. And one thing that I think is important, at every convention or at every Capital Conquest, Hanshi, you take all the teachers separate before the convention starts. And you tell them, it's not about you, it's about the students. And make sure you are nice to the students, make sure that everybody has a good time. When people ask you for an autograph, or for a photo, smile, have a good time, make sure that the students have a good time. And that's something that I took with me, and I think it's very important. It's not about us, but it's about the students, inspiring the students. And that's what Capital Conquest and all the conventions and World Kobudo stands for, and what they did for me. So about the memories I have, there are two things. I have like Ben Ladouceur already, it's the same memory I have, the hockey stick that went through the screen. But what I saw there, the first time I came there, was all these amazing demonstration teams. The team with Ala Sai, with Ala Moussi, the great teams of Northern Karate schools, and they inspired me to build my own team. So that's something I took from Capital Conquest and from the World Kobudo conventions. And another memory I have, it's not the best memory, is the last time I came to Capital Conquest 2 years ago. It was in Quebec. And I wrote to you, I think I'm going to come over. And you said to me, okay, come over, fly to Ottawa, and we'll pick you up. You can stay with my good friend, Junior Leduc. And next day we will drive to Quebec. I was thinking, okay, let's do that. So I went there. They came to pick me up. I went with Junior. Next day we went to the Hilton in Quebec. And I was in my hotel room and I was thinking, okay, let's go into the city. Took my iPad, Google Maps, Chateau Frontenac. Where is it? Oh, it's 500 kilometers apart from here. So I was thinking the Capital Conquest was in the city of Quebec, but no, it was in the province of Quebec. So a good thing that you asked me to fly to Ottawa, because otherwise I would have been like 500 kilometers away. Anyway, it's a stupid story, I know. But anyway, Hanshi, thank you for all the good memories you made and all the opportunities you gave us. And I will have a whiskey on your health, and I think you know where it came from.
Thank you very much. He's a whiskey expert and collector. So thank you very much, Anik. And now we're going back to USA, to Rochester, New York. Sensei Matt Dorsey, who's a 9th Dan in Taishin-Ryu Karate, who helps World Kobudo a lot. So Matt, 3 minutes, it's all yours.
All right, hello everybody. It's so great to see everyone on the Zoom call here. It's just fantastic. What great memories about all the Capital Conquests I've been to and the conventions now recently. Just fantastic time. And Hanshi, I don't know if you remember my first Capital Conquest about 10 years ago. I came up to you, I'd been invited for many years to come to Capital Conquest from Lance Ai, who I'd been sponsoring around New York for seminars for many years before. We became good friends. He kept asking me every year, come to Capital Conquest. I didn't come. Finally, I came about 10 years ago, and I was just amazed by the whole experience. I came up to you and talked to you, and I mentioned my sensei, Joe Jennings, to you, and you said, oh, I know him from way back. He used to sponsor kickboxing fights together, and back in the 70s, and you just welcomed me with open arms. It was just an amazing thing. I felt like so much a part of the family right away. I just couldn't believe it. Been coming ever since, and I've introduced a lot of my friends in New York to World Kobudo and to the coming to the convention and to Capital Conquest. It's just been a wonderful ride. I've met so many great people from all over the world. And I agree with what some of the other speakers have said, that the learning on the mats is fantastic, but I think what we get in the social events, when we meet each other in the hall, in between the seminars, all those things, that's really when the spirit of the organization comes to light and gives us such a great feeling of connection, that Budo spirit that we share together. And sometimes my friends ask me, you know, what's the Capital Conquest like? And I say, well, it's really hard to describe. There's a lot of people training and everything. I said, you know what? For me, it's like martial arts heaven. That's really how I feel about it. And it's really just been a fantastic time. I'm getting to know you, and everyone else in the organization has just been one of the greatest things in my life. Thank you so much, Hanshi, for doing this and for putting it all together.
And Matt, we're going to keep doing it for many more years. Thank you so much for your acknowledgement. Now we're going to Graz, Austria. And it's a father and son. We have Shian Herbert Smolana, who's a 7th Dan in Jiu-Jitsu in Austria. And his son is a Renchi, and he is a 4th Dan in Jiu-Jitsu. Now, Shian's English is not that great, but he speaks English. And if he has a problem, his son might help him. Go ahead. All yours for 3 minutes, Herbert.
Hallo Hanshi, thank you. Ja, mein Englisch ist nicht so gut, deswegen übersetzt mein Sohn Peter. Ja, für mich, jeder, der mich kennt, weiß, dass ich Flugangst habe. Peter.
Hello everyone, my name is Peter and I will translate right now. Everyone knows Herbert, knows that he's very, very afraid of flying.
Trotzdem wollte ich im Jahr 2019 beim Capital Conquest in Kanada dabei sein.
But 2019, he says, I'm going to Canada. I will cross the ocean.
Ich nahm alle Mut zusammen und überquerte den Ozean, um dabei sein zu können.
He takes all his courage and starts traveling to Canada. And he's very afraid right now to talk about this because the flight was about 10 hours and it was a new experience for him.
Ich sage euch allen, es war für mich ein Höhepunkt in meiner sportlichen Laufbahn.
Kannst weiterreden.
Ja, mit 1000 Sportlern auf der Matte zu stehen und gemeinsam zu trainieren, ist fantastisch. Aber dann auch noch als Trainer dabei zu sein, übertrifft einfach alles.
It means it was one of the highest points in his sports career to go to Canada and train with about thousands of people. And in the end, he's allowed to do a class, or we did about 3 classes on the mats. And it was fantastic.
Aber auch persönliche Gespräche am Abend mit Sportlern und Trainern aus der ganzen Welt beim gemütlichen Zusammensitzen ist ein besonderes Highlight. Wann hat man sonst die Möglichkeit, sich mit Weltmeistern und Großmeistern auszutauschen? Peter, please.
Next to the sports is also the conversation after training. You can meet champions and grandmasters all over the world and can sit together with them and talk about what martial arts is all about.
Ich kann nur jeden einzelnen Sportler aufrufen. Besucht die Heimat der WKF, fliegt nach Kanada und macht bei dieser tollen Veranstaltung mit. Und vielleicht steht auch einer von euch einmal als Trainer auf der Matte. In diesem Sinne auf nach Kanada zum Capital Conquest.
He can only talk to every single athlete in Austria and all over the world. Go to the home of the World Kobudo, go to the home of John Therien and be there as a trainer, as a sports, as an athlete and enjoy Canada. Be there 2021. See you there.
Thank you so much. And I know the frightening flight for this man, but he said it was worth it to come here. Thank you. Now we're going to go west of Canada, province of Manitoba. And we're going to see Shian Rick Williamson, 7 Dan in Jiu-Jitsu, a great teacher. And are you there, Rick? Shian Rick Williamson. There you go. All yours, 3 minutes, my friend.
We don't have sound yet.
We don't have sound. Wait. Is it him?
He's looking just
yeah. There you go. No sound. He's a great musician too. So
yeah, we should probably just go to the next person and come back if he's not there.
I think we've got him, Sensei Dofan.
Hello, are you there?
Okay. Okay, perfect.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'd like to say that it is an honor to speak about Capital Conquest today, and I want to thank Hanshi Therien for the opportunity. I first met Hanshi Therien years ago when he, Norm Beauchamp, Ray Bond, Ed Hisco, and Steve Hisco came to our club in Portage la Prairie to do a clinic. I'll never forget Hanshi Therien's opening attention-getter move for the pressure point clinic. Everyone was immediately attentive, focused, and trembling. I wish I could have used that move during my career as a high school math teacher. I attended Capital Conquest several times with my students, and it was always an amazing experience for everyone. The sheer number of different styles and opportunity to train with instructors who are among the best in the world provides everyone with a chance to learn. They return to their home dojo inspired and ready to work hard to improve their techniques. But the positive effects of Capital Conquest go way beyond what happens in the training area. New friendships develop and connections are made that last far longer than the memory of any technique. There are no politics and everyone shows respect for other arts and each other. When the training is over, opportunities for socializing and get-togethers are available as well. The Kobudo Mania show is always very entertaining and there are many amazing demonstrations. An interesting one I remember was where a guy stood on the stage in gi pants and a t-shirt and had others break boards across his legs. Then he stood there, legs apart, and received groin kicks not wearing a cup. I like singing tenor in my band, but not enough to do that to reach the high notes. While traveling home, my students and I decided to try putting on our own event, motivated by what we'd experienced at Capital Conquest. We created Winter Warrior and held it in Portage la Prairie every January for 5 years. We had many different guest instructors from different arts, including Hanshi Therien, Hanshi Sai, Kyoshi Mike Walsh, and my instructor, Chris Bissett. We even had a retired sumo wrestler from Vancouver, but it was hard to find him a suitable or willing Yuki. I'm wondering if Hanshi Sai remembers his outdoor hot tub experience at 40 Below and meeting that mysterious local bootlegger. I do have one special story about what Capital Conquest can do for people. I had a longtime student in my club who, despite having personal challenges, including a leaky heart valve, never quit and kept going for years until he finally got his black belt. At age 53, he had never traveled anywhere, driven a car, or flown in a plane. So a couple of years ago, I brought him to Capital Conquest. Hanshi Therien had even arranged for a ride from the airport for us, and he got to see many sights he'd never seen before. He was welcomed by everyone, and during training, Hanshi Therien, Jean-Yves Thériault, and many others posed for pictures with him. He had the absolute time of his life that weekend, although I had to drag him off one mat because he forgot about going too hard and had a bad heart. Afterwards at the airport, he said that coming to Capital Conquest was the best thing that ever happened in his life. He did not want to go home. Capital Conquest has something for everyone. Thank you to Hanshi Therien for organizing this event today. It's going to help so many people. We will get through this pandemic together, and I'm hoping to see everyone at Capital Conquest 21. Thank you.
Stay safe, my friend. We will get you for sure. We had the next speaker was from Germany, and his name is Kyoshi Baumhoffner. And Kyoshi took very sick, so we're going to wish him the very best. I think he's listening now, but he can't speak. He has, anyhow, something coming down. We just hope that he's going to be okay soon. So our next speaker is from Iran and moved to Montreal, and is Sensei Shadan. She's a 5th Dan in Shotokan Karate, and she represents Nomichi World Federation. And she's going to speak to you as a fan, and you've got 3 minutes. Go.
Osanshi.
Well,
hi, everyone. My name is Shadan, and I'm 50 years old. I started karate at the age of 5. I'm very humbled to be invited to speak with you guys. Thank you very much, Hanshi. And Hanshi Therien, who has become like a father to us. Well, he may be too young to be my father, but the role he's playing is like a father. He asked me to speak about Capital Conquest, not myself. So Hanshi, if you allow me, I'm going to be very honest. I think that Hanshi Therien uses that event to make girls fall for him. I fell in love with him. And
it's my hair.
And Therien, you know that I confessed my love for your husband, and you gave me the go. You said you wanted to share him with me. You remember, I'm sure. So anyhow, Capital Conquest helped me to open my mind, because I come from a very, very, very traditional Japanese karate background. So I thought that only Shotokan karate was worthy, and no other style was good or anything. And once I started going to Capital Conquest and making friends and anyhow meeting great people, I started opening my mind and understanding that I was so very wrong. I still think that Shotokan is the best, of course, but I had the great opportunity to meet great champions from all over the world. Please take a second to look at the picture here behind me. Where else than Capital Conquest, a girl like me who comes from Iran has the chance to meet great world champions like that. You see, I'm holding the hand of Iceman, and the poor guy didn't even know me that day. I will never ever forget the look he gave me when I started holding his hand. And on the other side, you can see Sensei Bill Wallace and Sensei Wallace Loki. And on my right is the Iceman and Ben Ladouceur that we saw a few minutes ago. So what is more rewarding for a martial artist to be surrounded by such great champions, huh? And where else than Capital Conquest I could make that dream come true? I don't think it would have happened without the help of Capital Conquest and Hanshi Therien, of course. And please don't forget that there is always a great woman before a great man, huh? Terry Lynn, thank you so much for all you do for us.
Thank you.
I think everybody can give her an applause, huh?
Yes, yes. Thank you very good, Shadan. Thank you. And it's true that Carolyn works very, very hard for Capital Conquest, and that's for another story. Now we go to Greece.
Greece is having some technical difficulties. So
Okay.
unfortunately, Michael Kosabakis, who's our school in Greece that was going to speak on behalf of Capital Conquest, he's been here many times with us, but unfortunately his connection did not last, so he was not able to come and share his fine words.
Okay, so we're going to move now to Australia. Now, Australia, this guy had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to stay online for 3 minutes of speaking. We have Grandmaster Punang Guru, 10th degree Kali, 3-dimensional, Filipino combatives from Melbourne, Australia. His name is Andy Elliott with 2 T's. Now I know I can write it well. 3 minutes, sir. We'll keep it on clock. You're on. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Awesome. Okay, I'll try and speak English and not Australian so you can understand me. Okay. I'm very honoured. Yeah, very honoured to be on this show. A little bit about my history. I've been training around the world doing different martial arts for decades. I sort of lost a bit of faith in martial arts organisations because of politics and other things like that. I became more concerned about being a combat instructor where things had to work for real. And I run my own training camps around the world. And I had my brother from Sweden, Johan, at my camp. And he said, Andy, I can only teach for 2 or 3 days. And I said, why not the week? And he said, well, I have another event to go to. And I said, what could be more important than being with your brother? And he said, well, I've got to go and teach at the WKF. And I'm like, what's the WKF? World Kobudo Federation. Okay, so I thought if Johan's associated with him, this must be something. So I asked Johan about the WKF and he gave an absolute glowing report. And he said, you really should become involved in this. And I sort of said, well, I've been down that path with martial arts organisations. It's not really what I want to do. And because it was such a glowing report, I did a bit of research and I went, wow, this is, for an organisation that gets a couple of thousand people, I thought this has to really be something special. And that just doesn't happen by a fluke. The more I looked into it, the more I realised, wow, this is awesome. I said, is there any chance that I could possibly come to an event or whatever? And Hanshi John invited me to teach, and it was an absolute honour. So I came all the way to Canada, and I brought one of my instructors who's actually in Canada. I brought him across from the other side from Vancouver, got to the event, and was totally overwhelmed. And it's one thing to have quantity at an event, but it was the quality. I didn't experience any politics. I didn't experience any egos. Everyone was approachable. Everyone was accessible. Not only that, it started off with having absolute legends in the ring, which was unbelievable. Seeing Superfoot, seeing the Iceman, Wally Sluggy, and that was just an incredible way to start. And I thought, wow, for someone, Hanshi John Therien must have, you know, this must be the real deal. He has to be the real deal to have the quality of people. And I learned right from the very go that you cannot run an event like that unless it's got to come from the leaders. And then when I met Hanshi Elaine, I understood very quickly why this was such a successful event, because it's the quality of the leaders. And as I think a friend from Belgium said before, we get told as an instructor, it's not about us, it's about the students, and it's about the sharing and the caring. And that really, really shines through. And it really reinvigorated my belief in martial arts again. And it really gave me the passion that to be with like-minded people was absolutely sensational. And it was just to be welcomed into the home of Hanshi, John and Tara Lynn, to be welcomed to the home of the Iceman, Jon Eves. I mean, like, this was just incredible. They don't even know me, and yet they put their trust in Johan Skalberg, who I've got to thank you so much, Johan. You're my brother. I love you, man. He's the one who got me, led me into this group, and I've found another family, and I'm honored to sort of say, like, it's family, because it's hard to find good family. It's really hard to find good family. And just to quote Tony Robbins, who's a great, motivator. He said something just recently that really resonated with me that I can sort of link to the WKF. He said, you judge a person's success by not how much money they make, it's by how much they give away. And to me, that represents the WKF. That represents what I saw at the Capital Conquest. It's not about them. It's not about them, what they take from you. It's about what they give back. And that's what really makes a difference in an organization that actually really cares and wants to give back to you. And getting to know Hanshi more so now, I know at times because I'm on a different side of the world, we call each other, we text each other, and I text him on the phone, and it must be probably about 3 o'clock in the morning, and next thing I get a response. I mean, who else does that? He's so accessible and always is there for you. And I can't thank you enough. I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much. And everyone, take care, please.
Thank you very much, my friend. Great accolades. Stay safe. It's Monday for you, and you got the whole day ahead of you. Take care.
Yes.
We have another couple in martial arts. They are from Ottawa, and they're special people to me. They're like my little brother and my little sister, and they are excellent, excellent karate people. Both of them are Kyoshis. It's Kyoshi Mike Civic, 7-dan Okinawan Goju Karate and Karate Do, and Kyoshi Laura Civic, 6-dan in Okinawan Goju Karate, and they're also ranked in Kobudo. East Wind Dojo in Ottawa will always have an open door for all of you when you come in. My dear friend, you have 3 minutes. It's your turn.
Ooh, look at the shirts.
Ah, good shirt, guys. Good shirts. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It is a period of great isolation in 2020. Martial artists striking back from all over the world are coming together today to fight COVID-19. Today, Mike and Laura Civic emerged and are honored to speak to you today.
Yeah, we got a Star Wars fan in the house, so I had to do that.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. So, thank you, Hanshi, for selecting us to speak today on this talk show. We are truly honored. I even had a shower so I wouldn't smell, and I brushed my teeth so I wouldn't have any bad breath. Hope you appreciate it. But I still didn't put on pants. I'm still not wearing pants. So. Honored to be on the show today. Thank you to my wife, Laura, who's also on the show. Thank you to my family. Thank you to my wife's family. Thank you to our dojo family, our martial arts family. We're lucky to have such great support network. A few months ago, I heard a good expression from one of our students, Renchi Lori Winter. I think it was from a book she read, and it goes that we're all in the same storm, but we're not all in the same boat. So some of us are a little more lucky than others. Some of us have jobs, some of us lost their jobs. So as martial artists, it's our job to support the people that maybe are in less of a boat than we are. World Kobudo Federation with its leaders, as well as the World Kobudo Convention, every time we go and we attend, gives us great enthusiasm and great inspiration. Always before the convention and after the convention, we're always inspired and we're very enthusiastic and we get pumped up, and we bring that back to our dojos and we bring that back to our students. So we're grateful for that. I think the best thing about the convention for me is that how it brings everybody together. The convention brings together everybody from all around the world. Everybody from around the world meets at this one event, and it's very, very inspirational and motivating. Even though we're in the middle of this pandemic, Hanshi and the World Kobudo leaders are still bringing us together, like today. So don't lose heart. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. We've been gifted with the knowledge and skills to get through these tough times. Trust in the higher powers. As you face daily battle, call it life, be confident in what you know and keep your eye on the prize.
Thank you.
Remain calm and steady in your presence of mind. This is what we have to do. As a Budo person, maintain good Zanshin, and we will get through this together and we'll all reunite next year. One thing I learned in World Kobudo is that 1 + 2 makes 10. So that's all you need to know.
Thank you so much, and keep up the good work, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, Hanshi.
Thank you. And now we're going to go to England. We have a sensei in England who's been to many Capital Conquests, and especially in the early years, she was here named as Sensei Joanne Martin. She's the 5th Dan in Jiu-Jitsu, and she's from St. Albans, England, in the UK. Jo, are you there?
Bonjour, mon petit pois.
Ah, voilà.
How are you guys? Good?
Yes, it's very good.
Good. Well, thank you for having me on. I got a call from Hanshi John this morning to say, would I speak? Because everybody else was down the pub. So, yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. I train in Jiu-Jitsu. I don't have my own school. I'm a bit of kind of transient. I spent years teaching in facilities for domestic abuse victims. So that's kind of my backstory. My first instructor was Kenny Coleshaw and Richard Morris. So I trained in Jiu-Jitsu. Wow, so many fantastic memories of Capital Conquest. I have fought with a Ninja Turtle. I have wrestled with a Kung Fu Panda. I've been tied up and I've been handcuffed. And that's all just in the hotel before I even got to training. But my most favorite thing, I think the thing I enjoy most about Capital Conquest is the attitude of all the instructors. In my journey through Jiu-Jitsu, it was very, very tough, as we would say in the UK. It was the school of hard knocks, broken arm, broken toes, broken fingers, broken nose, all because I was female. I went through a very kind of male-dominated environment and was always having to prove myself. But the thing I love about Capital Conquest and World Kobudo is you don't have to do that. There's a tendency with some people to have to, you look at one black belt and you compare it to another black belt. That doesn't happen at Capital Conquest. Everybody is treated equally. and with respect. And I have seen at Capital Conquest, I've seen, you know, people who are missing limbs, people in wheelchairs. I think I've even seen a gentleman once that was blind, and the instructors give as much time and dedication to those students as they do to the able-bodied. And I think that's what I love most. So just thank you for creating such a wonderful, friendly atmosphere, and more an equal atmosphere. Love you guys.
Thank you so much, my little sister. Thank you for sharing, and please keep doing that. Now we're going to go far away. It's about a 30-hour flight from here to Mauritius Island. And if you don't know where that is, look it up. It's very far, and it's a little dot on the map. But there's a great teacher there named Hanshi Sorab Molabukus, who is an 8th Dan Jiu-Jitsu and has his international academy there. Are you with us, Hanshi Sorab? Hanshi Sorab?
He doesn't have audio on.
I don't see him, Hanshi.
Let's move on to Switzerland. And if we don't hear about Hanshi Sorab, this is the last speaker of the day. And the person that it will be speaking is Renchi Matthias Duc. He's a 4th Dan in Shotokan Karate in Geneva, Switzerland. And he's also part of the army to help fight the COVID, but he got the day off today, or the time off. Vous avez 3 minutes, mon ami, maximum, s'il vous plaît. Matthias Duc.
Hello everyone, tout le monde m'entend?
Oui, je t'entends très bien.
Oui. I apologize for my poor English, but I will try anyway. I'm going to read a little bit. I participated Capital Conquest for the first time 1 year ago. I had never seen such an impressive gathering, and it was for me the first time that I have set foot on the American continent. I never stopped to disturb Hanshi Therien. Hanshi, in 2 weeks I'll be there. Hanshi, it's coming soon. Hanshi, it's so cool, I will be in today. Hanshi, I'm in the plane. Sorry for disturbing, Hanshi. Sorry. I'm happy to have been able to experience this with my father, Patrice. Hi, Dad. After that, I realized the world needs Canadian more. Another highlight is the Friday night fight. It was awesome to see all of these fighters in the rings. And what a masterful ending with Jean-Yves Thériault. The class is usually given by the best in the world. And when the lesson finishes, we are always tired and sweating, but always happy. The cherry on the cake on Saturday evening at a great meal and the Canadian Black Belt Hall of Fame, very intense and moving moment during the new nomination, followed by magnificent demonstration. And it was that night that I was able to meet a youth idol. Sorry, Jean Freinet. Thanks to Hanshi Berkowski, around several good glasses of beer and the end of the evening. Thank you, Hanshi. All these great moments will remain engraved in my heart for the rest of my life. Thanks to Hanshi John Therien, Hanshi Alain Sailly, and all to others. Long life to World Kobudo Federation. Long life our big family. Sorry for my English.
Merci beaucoup, Matthias. Thank you so much. This is the last speaker, but we have with us who has been hearing about the talk show, Hanshi Sorab, but he has technical difficulties, so he cannot open his microphone to speak. So this is the end of the speakers. And at the beginning, we mentioned different countries that were there, and we could add to that Mexico and Congo and Nigeria and Pakistan and Ireland, and the list goes on. So now I'm going to turn this over to the PKCC 4 people who do fantastic job, and they are going to do the closing on this show. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. And by the way, this will be on the PKCC YouTube channel, maybe in a week or 2, so you can have your friends go there, or you can go there and review the whole show. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hanshi Therien. Just for anybody who might have tuned in a little after we started, Hanshi has asked us, myself, Sensei Dofan, Sensei Suino, and Sensei Legacy, who run a show called Punch, Kick, Choke, Chat, to be the umbrella of hosting this. And what a day, what an afternoon. And the way we end all of our Punch, Kick, Choke, Chat episodes is we're lucky enough to go around and say a little something about what our experience has been. In our case with the show that you can see on YouTube, and as Hanshi Therien mentioned, this will be posted on YouTube as well if you want to revisit or share the link of yourself or people you respect. In any case, when we go around, we say a little something about our time with our guests. So we're going to start with Hanshi Legacy, who's just going to weigh in on his last couple hours.
What a great show, honestly. Well put together by Sensei Therien and our crew. It was nice to see some people that I've admired, and meeting other new people. I love hearing from the different countries and the different styles. And I'm really looking forward to the next Capital Conquest to see most of you there. All right.
Thank you so much, Hanshi. Sensei Suino?
Thank you, Sean. Capital Conquest 2021. I can't wait. I'll keep this short. First of all, it's so wonderful to meet everybody. Listen, stay in touch. We have lots of tools. Martial arts are the antidote to so much that's wrong with the world today. Let's band together and make sure we move the world in a positive direction. Each of you showed today passion for the martial arts, commitment to the martial arts, loyalty to one another, pride in what you do, and most importantly of all, humility, the desire to recognize your place in the world and to get better. COVID has been a challenge. 2021 may be a challenge. Each of us, I think, can say this: I don't know how it's going to be, but I know how I'm going to be. And I can't wait to see you. Capital Conquest 2021.
Well said. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sensei Suino. Yeah, as has been shared a bit, anybody on this call is probably higher ranking than me, and as someone who's a 5th Dan, I feel like I've just walked through the door of martial arts. And last year was my first time walking through the door of Capital Conquest, and I was just blown away. I was there to support my sensei being inducted to the Black Belt Hall of Fame, and I had no idea how much was going to be around that. I'm so excited to meet all of you in person. And this has been said, Hanshi Therien, you just did in 2 hours with 33 countries and 33 guests. We'd be running overtime on Punch, Kick, Choke, Chat right now. There's a reason this thing works so well when you're running it. You are a master of not just martial arts, sir. It's a real honor to watch you run this tight ship online. And thank you to everybody who shared. I just want to, for me, one thing that I really heard because of the tough times that some of us maybe experience, the fight starts when you don't feel like fighting anymore. I wrote that down. I'm going to be using that. I'm going to be sharing that. I believe that was Cosvona. If not, I'm sorry, but I heard so much great stuff today, and that was just one of them. And now I'm going to pass it over to Sensei Dofan.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. That was Johann Skelberg who said that, and I wrote that one down. The fight starts when you don't feel like fighting anymore. That's a truism for sure. I made a commitment. I said something to Hanshi Therien yesterday when we were talking, and I think it's an easy commitment to keep up. I'm not going to miss another Capital Conquest. If he puts it on, I'm looking forward to jumping in a car or in a train with Hanshi Legacy and Sensei Suino and Sean Benson and being down there. Like, I think we're going to have a great time. I look as much forward to the training as I do the after parties. They seem to be legendary. One thing that I think, Hanshi Therien, it came through every single person. They all love each other. They all are making time for each other, commitment to each other. They're all going to be back. It's going to be back bigger and better than ever. I liked, I think it was Michael Downs, and he said, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. I really like that. He also said, show me your friends and I'll show you my future. this is a bright future with all these people together. This is a bright future for all of us. Yeah, I feel privileged to have been a part of this. Thank you so much, Hanshi Therien, for letting us do this with you. Thanks so much, Terry Lynn. I've received lots of comments, text messages coming in about Hanshi Therien and yourself. And when we're alone, I'll give you those comments together.
Thank you, everyone. And God bless. We did this to give hope to everybody in martial arts, to show that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and that we will all bounce back, and we will bounce back strong. So stay safe, be there. It's like Sensei Suino said, I don't know how 2021 is going to be, but I know how I'm going to be. I love that quote, and that's me. I'm a positive guy, and I know we'll have sweat equity together in 2021. Thank you. And those that are at home, enjoy your family. And those that's very late in your country, have nice dreams. Thank you so much to PKCC.
Salut.
Thank you. Merci, mon ami.
Salut.
Salut, mon chum. Bye-bye.